Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
It's a good night for dancing, right? We're gonna groove on. My name is Jean Mariak. I'm Associate Minister here, and it is a joy to introduce to you our guest speaker tonight. She is a Renaissance woman, an ordained Unity minister, a licensed Unity teacher, published author, powerful inspirational speaker, and passionate teacher of Bible, prayer, and metaphysical principles. Reverend Sheila Gautreaux, her mission is to awaken and empower all humanity through prayer and forgiveness for the healing of the world. It's a powerful mission. We are blessed to receive it tonight. She is committed to carrying out this mission through classes, workshops, forgiveness coaching, and the messages within her 3 published books, Praying Through a Storm, Messages, and her latest book, The Long Journey Home. And those will be available to you as you leave tonight. She'll be signing books, and you'll get to receive her message that way as well. As a certified radical forgiveness coach, she works one-on-one with people to support them in moving beyond the challenges of letting go of the past to open the way for the infinite possibilities that await when they do. As a speaker, she is known for her passion, humor, profound insights, and using her beautiful voice as the icing on the cake. Please give a warm welcome to Reverend Sheila Gautreaux.
Hi! Happy Valentine's Day! Okay. What do squirrels give each other for Valentine's Day? Forget-me-nuts. Okay, got another one. So, why did the banana go out on a date with the plum for Valentine's night? Because she couldn't get a date. Hey, look, I guess nobody warned you about me, right? So, tonight I want to talk to you about love, but in a different way. I come up with these strange ideas at strange times. Things just kind of pop into my head, and these concepts just seem to pop up. Probably the universe knows that I'm a little strange, so I'm always open and receptive to strange things. So I get a lot of strange insights. But I was looking at love, and I was looking at forgiveness. And I know because of my years of practicing and training, being trained by Colin Tipping and others in the forgiveness field, I was looking at this thing called love and the forgiveness together. And since I tend to link everything at one time or another with forgiveness, prosperity and forgiveness, healing and forgiveness, and whatever, because I've learned that forgiveness has such an astonishing energy that when we take on the internal motivation to begin to heal through forgiveness those things from the past which have caused us to get stuck in certain routines where we continue to attract to us the same people over and over, expecting to get a different result. And wanting to understand what it is that makes it so difficult for us to let go of the painful situations that have occurred to us, and knowing that love is the great healer. So I wanted to understand what role love plays in helping us to forgive. And I've been playing with this for a very long time. And I happened to come across something in the Daily Word one morning that talked about if we love ourselves enough, we can always make room for forgiveness. And I found that fascinating. Isn't that interesting? If we love ourselves enough, we can always make room for forgiveness. Well, of course, that meant I had to go dig deep and do some research and so forth. And I think it's what this is saying. This is what this is a Sheila-ism, okay? You will not see this written anywhere, okay? This is a Sheila-ism. I believe that when someone harms us in a painful way, and we begin to experience, express, and I'm going to say nurture the pain, that what is happening in those moments is that we have given ourselves permission to live a hurt that occurred and then relive it and relive it and relive it, believing that what is most important for us is to be right about the fact that we were hurt. But if we love ourselves, I want you to play with me here, okay? If we love ourselves, then we could open the way to at least make the effort to forgive, knowing that the forgiveness is not for the other person anyway. Are you with me? Yes. See, the forgiveness is for us to be free to go forward, okay? I'll give you an example. How many of you have had somebody to do something to hurt you over the years in childhood? Anybody had anybody to do it? Oh, okay. All right. Have you ever gone to anyone who harmed you, say as a kid even, a teenager, and said to them, I want you to know that I forgave you for what you did? Anybody ever did that? Did they remember that they had done anything? Hello. So then, who is the forgiveness really for? It's for us, right? It's so that we can move on, because otherwise, we are recreating the emotional energy of what happened to us at the hands of this other person, and they've gone on and don't even remember that they did anything to you. I did that once, beloveds, and went to say, I want you to know that I forgave you for what you did. And they said, oh, what'd I do? Well, you so-and-so and so-and-so, and you did so-and-so. Really, when? In 19 so-and-so and so, and Remember we were on a trip and we da-da-da-da. No, I don't remember. But I remembered every detail. So what was happening to me? I was reliving it. Constantly, every time I thought about it, I relived it. So forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves. It is not for the other person. Therefore, if we look at love, and if we love ourselves enough to forgive someone who has harmed us and to set us free from having to carry that around and relive it over and over again, then isn't that loving twice? So forgiveness is loving twice. It's loving ourselves enough to set ourselves free, and it's allowing us to commit an act of love for that person who didn't know what they were doing in the first place. Our elder brother Jesus says in the scripture, when he's on the cross, and I think this is like really cool, you know? I'm not sure that I could be that magnanimous, but he says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's big, okay? He is on a cross with nails in his hands and feet, crown of thorns on his head, right? They're giving him vinegar water to drink, and they're gambling over his clothes. And in that moment, instead of reading them from Amazing Grace to Floating Opportunity, he is saying, forgive them. Because they don't know that they are breaking universal laws that will follow them the rest of their lives. They don't know that they are setting up a system of forgiveness and unforgiveness, and forgiveness and unforgiveness. And what happens with the things that happen in our lives that call for us to forgive, if we don't forgive them, someone is going to show up to do it again, to give us another opportunity. And if we don't do it then, someone is going to show up to give us another opportunity. The universe is always presenting us with opportunities to live at our highest and best and to fulfill the purpose for which we are here. And the purpose for which we are here, are you ready for it? Is to love. In truth, that is our only purpose, is to love. Take a deep breath. Exhale. I know, you're thinking about some whatabouts, right? How did I know? Yeah, what about? But what about? But here's the thing. You can be free by forgiving, or you can carry that person, that situation around with you over and over and over and over again for the rest of your life, and keep attracting people who will do the same thing to you until you finally get it that this is an opportunity to forgive. So love to the second power, then, is loving yourself enough to forgive so that you are free, and vicariously through your willingness to forgive, you begin to set in motion perhaps something that will allow that person that you're forgiving to come to the realization about some things in their life, because you open the door by forgiving in spite of the fact that they haven't asked for forgiveness. And so that's what we're talking about when we say forgiveness is loving twice. It's loving yourself enough to free yourself, and it's loving that universal loving for that other person to help save them from the harm they're bringing to themselves. Am I making any sense? Okay. So this is what we're talking about. And here's the thing, my beloveds. Jesus says, love one another as I have loved you. Okay? He doesn't say like one another. Okay? You don't have to like them. Our job, the last I checked, was love. And you can love them from the other side of the planet. Okay? They don't have to be still living with you, or your next door neighbor, or working next to you. No, 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 no. You can love them from the other side of the world. But our job is to love. It is strictly to love. And so he says, love one another as I have loved you. And that means I have loved you unconditionally, without exception. There is nothing that you can do to keep me from loving you. What would it be like if we could do that with each other? I love you so much that there is nothing that you can do to keep me from loving you. Take a breath. That's a hard one, isn't it? But here's the deal. You don't have to tell them that, you just have to do it. I mean, are you getting where I'm going with this? Because what I want you to recognize is that if we put this kind of energy out here on this planet, if we just tried it, can you imagine what this world would look like? I'm going to love and forgive you anyway, and there is nothing that you can do to keep me from loving and forgiving you. I'm just saying. Because we can't do anything about the universal laws and so forth that other people are breaking. But we can do something about the universal laws that we are breaking. And, one is love your neighbor as yourself. But then a lot of us don't love ourselves. So what I'm asking is that if you could just take a chance. Just take a chance and try it out. Try it out. Try going back over some of those things, and I love you guys and I want to believe you, but I don't think there's anybody here who doesn't have anything that needs forgiving, right? Okay, all right. So it's about taking the time to look at what kind of spiritual footprints are we putting on this planet. If we continue to walk through life holding criticism, condemnation, and judgment of others for things they have done, and yet we're not looking at what we haven't done, which is to love and to forgive. And there are many people who, because they don't even realize some of the cosmic laws that they have broken by their behavior, that you can't sit around and wait for them to come to the realization of what they need to do. What we need to do is do it. Do it. Forgive. What's it going to hurt? Remember, you don't have to tell them you forgive them. Okay? You can use one of the processes, the Radical Forgiveness Worksheet, or do a Satori 7-step, or do the ceremony, or whatever. You just do it. And you never have to call them up and say, by the way, I forgave you. No. But you take that in you, and you nourish and nurture, and you appreciate yourself for having had the love and the courage to do this for you. Because forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves. And when we have harmed others and we haven't forgiven ourselves, we continue to carry that energy around with us as well. And what happens is that the universe will continue to bring people into our lives who will facilitate us doing the same things to them until we come to the realization, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to forgive myself for this, and I never want to do this again. And then the universe doesn't have to keep giving you makeup classes. Now, what you will understand, another thing that you will understand is that many of the things that hurt us when we are adults are misperceptions and things we made up about the things that happened to us when we were kids. 90% of the subconscious mind is formed by the time you are about 12 years old. And the subconscious mind is where we hold those beliefs about ourselves that we've taken on since childhood, the stories we have created. Give you an example. Little child's outside playing, comes inside and sees suitcases in the hallway. Finds out that their mother is leaving without them. The first thing that comes to that child's mind is, my mother is leaving me. Hold that in your mind right now, is leaving me. And if my mother is leaving me, it means my mother doesn't love me. And if my mother doesn't love me, it means I'm unlovable. And if I'm unlovable, it means no one will ever love me. That's the story we make up about the things that happen in our lives that bring us pain. All that happened is that the mother moved out of the house. Are you with me? The mother wasn't leaving the child. For whatever the reasons are that the mother didn't take the child, the mother didn't leave the child. It left the marriage. But that child now has a thing in its subconscious levels of mind, and then which then goes into the unconscious level, which creates the shadow stuff, that it is not lovable, that nobody will love it because the mother left. So forgiveness is the gift we give ourselves. It's not for the other person. And so in in your handout, and I always give a handout when I talk, and the reason I do that, you guys, is because many times I change my talk in the middle of the talk, and then all that good stuff is gone. So some of the things that we can do if we are caught in a dilemma of unforgiveness. Okay, first of all, you don't have to tell the person, okay? You make the decision. I desire to forgive this person for this situation so that I can be free. So that I can be free. In other words, I give you, in the course, something says, I give you to the Holy Spirit as part of myself unless I want to use you to imprison myself. I give you to the Holy Spirit as part of myself unless I want to use you to imprison myself. So that's the first thing you do, is you decide to forgive. And you remember that one power and that one presence. There is one power and there's one presence. And the only activity that needs to take place is between you and that one presence, which is where you go to do your forgiveness work. And what you want to do is to remember that you are that presence, and that through your lovingness of self and God, that you have made the decision to let go of something that you've been carrying that has harmed you. And so you know that, you've made that decision. You begin to look at, how can I love more? How can I love more? How can I love myself more? How can I love others more? Because the more I do this, the more I fulfill this purpose that I have for healing those things in my life that require forgiveness, the greater this world becomes. Because I am adding, moment by moment, I am adding to the love, the forgiveness, and the evolution in consciousness of this entire planet. And when we reach that critical mass, you will see a shift like you've never seen before. You're seeing an upheaval right now because the universe needed to get our attention. Got mine. And so now we're on the horns of a dilemma. People are waking up. People are saying enough. People are saying me too. People are ready to change this world. And I believe with all my heart that the key to it is forgiveness. It's one thing to stand up and to admit that you had a painful experience like somebody else's. But it's another thing altogether to forgive what that person did. And that's our job. That's our job. And if each one of us could do that with one thing in our lives, can you imagine the difference it would make? Just imagine if every one of us in here forgave one person for something they did. Maybe even something that you say, I will never forgive them for that. Okay, anybody ever said anything like that? I did. Telling the truth. I did. But it felt so good when I did. It felt really, really good because I felt free. That person wasn't sleeping in the bed with me anymore, or riding in the car with me, or sitting at the dinner table with me every night. Oh, by the way, they're all there, all of them that you still need to forgive. Yeah, they're all in bed with you at night. So if you have any sleep disorders, I'm just saying. So that's our goal. That's our goal. And I really want to share some profound spiritual experiences with you. I hope that many of you will come on Saturday. In this workshop, I will be taking you through 3 of Colin's most powerful healing exercises. We're going to do the Satori 7-step. We're going to do the ceremony. And if we have enough males, we'll do the gender healing ceremony. You're also going to learn where in your body you are carrying those people that you still need to forgive, and what physical ailments may be correlated to the unforgiveness of these particular people. It's very powerful stuff, and I really want to give you some tools that you can use and that you can use right away. So I really want you to come on Saturday. I really want you to come. I really want you to come. Okay, do I have to get on my knees and beg? I really do. I really want you to come, okay? The other thing that I want you to think about is, how can I walk this planet and be certain that my footprints serve the highest and best for this world and not the opposite? I really want you to think about that. How can we walk this planet? How can we live and function each day in such a way that we are adding to the world and not taking away from it? And that's not really related to the forgiveness, but I'm asking you to do this. I add this each time I do something at a different church, as I'm asking that we begin to take a look. How are we being in this world right now? Is it being done in such a way that we are adding or taking away? So, when you get a chance, I invite you to take a look at these 7 steps I have in here. I pulled these together based on a lot of the reading and studying that I did, Farini and Eckhart Tolle and Colin Tipping, and other master teachers who have come up with ways of being in the world and contributing instead of taking away. And one way is doing the forgiveness work, but there are other ways. And so I ask you to take a look at where you are taking away from the world and how you can add. And then, of course, the forgiveness work. Free yourself. Free yourself. you would be amazed at how many people are the root cause of some of your physical ailments. And all you have to do is forgive them, and then that's gone. I know. So, take a look at the 7 stages for you to look at. These are just some things that have come to me over the years from all of my teachers. And if you are willing to take a chance and play with me tomorrow, I will give you some tools and some techniques that will totally transform your life. You will not be the same person when you leave as you would be when you walked in. I guarantee it. I don't guarantee many things, but I guarantee it. Yeah. And so, here's what I would like. We're going to do a little thing when we come back into the meditation. But I would like you to begin to just think. Think of someone that has harmed you, or think of some harm that has been brought to you, and who the person was, who was the perpetrator, okay? And just think about it and have that one person in mind. And I'm going to take you into an exercise during the meditation. But I just want to leave you with this. If I can bring anything home, it'll be this. Forgiveness is the gift you give yourself. Say that together. Forgiveness is the gift you give yourself. Okay, I want you to say, forgiveness is the gift I give myself. Together. Forgiveness is the gift I give myself. Okay. Again. Forgiveness is the gift I give myself. And once more, and I want you to really say it like you mean it. Forgiveness is the gift I give myself. Yes, it is. And keep forgiving, and don't give up, and there's some big things getting ready to happen. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.